will discuss it later.
Thank you so much. Let me start by sharing my screen here. And
The camera, if you can put on your camera, then we can see you during the presentation. Yeah.
that's that should be on already. Oh yeah, no, it's not. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
now it's okay.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for the introduction and for the second invite to be part of the MAST High Tech kind of conference. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Wael Guibene. I am a principal system architect at Infineon, and I focus on our ICW solutions, IoT, compute, and wireless. So the agenda for today really is kind of I'll briefly introduce Infineon, especially kind of to folks who may kind of listen to this from the US or from Asia. We're big in Europe. We're very known in Europe, but a bit less, I would say, in North America here. So a bit of introduction of who we are and what we do, and then I'll give a bit of kind of background and motivation to why the industry felt it's kind of time to introduce a new standard called Matter, and I'll go over a really brief introduction of like the technical background to it and the way it works, and I'll talk a little bit about kind of solution, and like I did last time, I'll also talk a bit about the not only kind of the hardware and the chipset solution, but really from a from a kind of overall system and overall product solution. So who we are? We're a global leading semiconductor company. We're one of the top 10 semiconductor companies worldwide. We're a leading player, especially in automotive systems for power and management at drives. We recently launched, or actually kind of helped launch, the James Webb, for example, telescope. It have like a lot of kind of Infineon parts and a lot of kind of Infineon enablement on it. So we're really from the consumer electronics all the way to the telescopes, I guess. We're also very well known for our connected secure systems for wireless combos. With the recent acquisition of Cypress and all the assets that transferred to Infineon, and we're also a big player in differentiated memories. We're one kind of claim to fame for us is really we're a trusted partner for 8 of the top 10 IoT companies. They work with us. They That's really kind of a partnership mindset that we install with our partners and with our customers. People tend to speak about IoT and talk about IoT a lot. We also ship a lot of parts to kind of enable that, from our over 3 billion IoT chipsets that we shipped worldwide to our 22 billion security also chipsets that we shipped that are present in all these connected devices and applications. Uh, it's kind of, starting with the big picture, right? IoT is going to be kind of a transformative to all industries, from smart cars to smart home, which is the focus today, to factories, to communication, wearables and hearables. But fundamentally, it's all about, as I was saying in kind of over the last 2 weeks, which session, which is about the sensing, compute, actuation, the connection, and making sure that at every step of the way, security is present and security is kind of integral part of that of these kind of 4 pillars. And our mission at Infineon is really to kind of make sure that IoT journey of our customers is easier to achieve, safer to as kind of more secure and greener, by kind of applying our green technologies and our kind of promise for energy efficiency and energy efficiency. Let's put it that way. We're speaking today about smart home, and if we look at the smart home ecosystems, or what really is offered within the house, it's all about these kind of surveillance cameras, the smart lights, the sensors, robots, all I would say these applications that you see in here, and it's really enabling to kind of double click on what was said kind of earlier on, it's not only about these connected devices, but really about how we connect these devices between each other and how we start kind of creating an ecosystem within the home. For example, for the smart thermostat, or let's start from the door. You walk in, or at least you're detected by your door. That's when, for example, the lights will go on. Or off, depending on which way you're going into the house, or kind of leaving the house. And for example, when you're kind of leaving the house, that may also impact what this thermostat is doing, and impact how the appliances are behaving. So that's, for example, these are new use cases that we are seeing for like energy management, for security, with all these kind of cameras that people are installing, with the kind of the smart lights. And again, that's kind of part of the smart kind of energy management, and also the smart speakers with kind of integration of TVs, speakers, robot vacuum cleaners, for example, and all these devices into the fabric of the home, or kind of the smart home ecosystem. But that's the promise, but there are a lot of issues. Because if we think about smart home today, it's the problem that with it is it's kind of a closed ecosystem, or closed ecosystems, and what people kind of tend to end up with is these these kind of islands, I would call them, of small, connected devices that do not talk to each other. And if they do, then it will be through kind of cloud APIs, and it will be, for example, painful to the manufacturers of lights. um, Manufacturers of lights, for example, they need to kind of they need to maintain all these APIs to the different. Here there are three of the kind of leading ones, like these kind of the brands that are known in the US. But like someone who wants to go global will need to maintain these hundreds of APIs to these smart home ecosystems if they want to their product kind of to be part of that ecosystem. And that's I still remember the very early days of smart home. I was buying light bulbs. There wasn't, I would say, these kind of stickers on them to say it works with, and you end up with a light bulb that cannot speak, talk to your, for example, Amazon kind of Alexa type device, or the Google. My first hand experience about kind of the lack of interoperability was when I bought my Nest thermostat, and I wasn't able to use it with Alexa. Um, that was kind of, for example, and being in the tech industry and being a techie myself, that was I thought about that kind of as a as setback to my smart home experience. So let alone, I would say, my parents, or kind of grown up people. I mean, kind of elderly people who will not be kind of tech savvy enough to track these small interoperability, I would say, stickers on their devices. The other, I would say, problem that we're seeing with smart home is this kind of coexistence, but not really coexistence of wireless technologies within the home. So we have a lot of these kind of wireless technologies, from Wi-Fi to Bluetooth to Thread to Zigbee. Some people are even introducing some form of sub-gigahertz, like Z-Wave and LoRa and all that stuff. But fundamentally, these technologies, even if we take the ones that operate in the 2.4, there is no way for them to kind of speak to each other and talk to each other. So that's also a setback to kind of a smart home kind of strategy, in the sense that now anyone who's kind of deploying this needs to choose one or the other, and be able to kind of and to kind of make the bet to stick with it. And then how do you talk to other, for example, Wi-Fi and Thread and BLE, for example, devices, if your strategy is Zigbee? Or if you go with Thread, how do you interoperate with the three main players in smart home? All this actually is screaming for a need for a new protocol to address these challenges. That protocol is called Matter, and it's bringing that interoperability at some form of network slash application layer. And it's an attempt by 400 plus, I would say, IoT leading company worldwide to harmonize the smart home ecosystem. It's an initiative by the likes of Apple, Google, Amazon, to create this unified open source IP based standards for smart home, and to simplify the connectivity experience within the home. So a little bit of history. All this started in December, back in December 2019, when the Zigbee Alliance launched the work group called CHIP, or Project CHIP, Connected Home over IP. That got, I would say, renamed to Matter eventually when when Zigbee Alliance rebranded to CSA, which is like the connectivity standards, because Wi-Fi and Zigbee and all that stuff alliance. And the promise is really kind of to launch, and you're seeing this kind of aggressive really time frame, which is like, say, from 2020 to 2020, June 2022, kind of, mature and launch this Matter protocol or Matter initiative, to make it smoother and easier for users to onboard their devices. And it's also kind of focusing on some kind of key classes of devices to start with, like door locks, lights, and TVs. And also there is a huge focus on improved security. um, we are at the, at the heart of it as Infineon, and we very recently also announced that we joined the CSA board of directors. So we're taking this initiative really seriously, and we're super excited to accompany and help our partners here. But first, let's look at the, as I was saying earlier, I was talking about the problems and the lack of interoperability. But now let's talk about the promise and kind of the type of new journeys that this will offer. So you're buying your new device. You don't need to look at all these stickers of it works with this or that type of ecosystem. It will have the smart this Matter, I would say, logo. You just buy it, bring it home, you scan the QR code for the onboarding, and then there is also kind of a pairing process with the phone. And then once it's verified and provisioned, so that's kind of the there is a kind of a ledger for identification of, and no, a ledger for verification that you have like an authentic device, and then we authenticate that device, provision it, and then it's securely part of your home network. And at that stage, you can actually operate it smoothly in your home, even if you have like more than one, what we call admin, which is like, if you're I am, for example, an Android user. My wife is an Apple, I would say, iPhone user. These ecosystems tend not to interoperate, tend to be non-interoperable. But with this type of initiative, it doesn't matter who the manufacturer is. That device will speak a unified language within the home that makes it interoperable with all kind of smart home devices and ecosystems within the Matter, within Matter. So how does it work? Again, by creating this, what we call fabric within the home, connecting all these Wi-Fi and Thread devices, and using Zigbee as an application layer to run on top of these. And you have like devices that are connected to Wi-Fi. You have your Wi-Fi gateway access point. We're also introducing part of course, the Thread kind of architecture. There will be kind of border routers. There will be devices, that have capabilities of routing, and there will be devices that are mostly sleeping in the home. And these and also, what I really also like about Matter is like that it's kind of really future proofing, uh, being kind of future proof for other, I would say, technology and for future developments. That as there are these bridges that are introduced in order to make sure that we don't exclude, I would say, for example, the Zigbee of devices of the world, or the Z-Wave devices of the world, or even the LoRa ones. So there is a way for these non-IP devices to be part of the home and to be interoperable with Matter through the bridges. And all this, as I was saying, some of these devices will act as commissioners and controllers for the home. And you can have more than one controller, and that's how kind of you create a unified um, um, uh, you know uh, smart home network within the home. So kind of um, the exciting, I would say, part of it, which is the projected number of kind of shipped devices it's going from less than 200 uh, 200 million devices. It should be in the million, I think, devices in 2022 to a little bit over 1.6 billion devices in 2030. So we think and we're seeing kind of a huge push for Matter, um, kind of justified by the need in the market with a CAGR of almost 40%. So what are we doing on the Infineon side to kind of address this? As I was saying, we're on the kind of chipset side of things, and on the kind of we're introducing new lines of MCUs of our Wi-Fi combo devices, which are like the Wi-Fi plus BLE, or on the kind of 15.4, which is kind of the foundation of Thread and of and of Zigbee, and we're associating that with BLE because something that I failed to mention earlier, the commissioning will always happen over BLE. So we're introducing these devices, these kind of world-class devices to bring Matter, as you see, to the market. But we're also investing in on the solutions. And when we looked at some of the market growth, when you decompose kind of the first graph that I've shown, and you're looking at like the market growth, it's there are kind of two types of what we identified as kind of the first generation for Matter 1.0, the smart lights and the smart locks. And because we see this growth and because we see this market need, and we want to also help our customers get faster to market with these, what we're proposing to them is a solution for these for these type of devices, where we not only include the multi-protocol connectivity with the so this is a Thread device or a Thread chipset with fully tuned with our Sirent cloud connectivity onboarding and analytics, with also kind of our world-class secure element and zero touch provisioning, and also full device protection with ESD and bulb authentication. So we're doing this in an effort really kind of to help our customers go fast to market and be part of the first wave of the connected devices. So as I was saying, we identified two markets. One of them is smart lighting. The second one is a bit more sophisticated, which is like the smart lock, where we also provide a reference design for our a full reference design actually for the lock as well, based on the world kind of leading low power processing MCU, which is like PSOC 6 family. This is a Wi-Fi BT combo chipset, fully tuned, fully connectable to Wi-Fi analytics with our Sirent cloud. With HMI, we talked a little bit earlier about kind of the interfaces. HMI is this is CapSense, with also memory for like storing all the information that's kind of generated in terms of kind of pin numbers or fingerprints on the device, so you don't have to send these to cloud. Security again, device protection, and we go the extra mile of even provisioning for the motor control through our XMC family of products. So um, that kind of concludes what I had to talk about when it comes to Matter and Infineon. We're here to help, as I was saying, our customers bring high quality, differentiated products to market on time, on budget, and with a low risk, using our best-in-class HMI connectivity, compute, and security, as well as sensing. And thank you so much for listening to my
Thank
speech.
you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Wael. We have a question is in on the chat. We are just in time, but anyway, in the round table, Thomas, we need you in the round table. You asked the question to Wael. Please, we will have our round table in 15, in half an hour. Please make sure to all our speakers to stay with us. Let me ask you a question from Abdelkrim Kilib. In rural and remote areas, what are the emergency solutions for energy and connectivity?
The emergency solution, I guess, as you read it first, I think what was intended is the emerging um, rural and remote area. What are
Yeah.
the emerging solutions for energy and connectivity? I mean, the um, the way we look at it, there is I guess the need will be somewhat the same. It really doesn't really depend on whether it's kind of a rural or not area. There is always this kind of need to connect devices and to be energy efficient within the home. And actually, Matter kind of is tackling smart home as a first kind of vertical. And this is going to be kind of the reoccurring I guess theme, which is the connectivity, the security, the energy efficiency, we're seeing a lot of kind of new HVAC systems, new thermostats that are at least the promise is for them to support Matter and to support these kind of new frameworks to enable the intelligence of the device to support energy management and energy efficiency.
Yeah. Another question, we had another presentation about the importance of Matter, more focused on software aspects and app. This is what Thomas presented early this afternoon. What kind of collaboration will you develop with devices and app developers?
I mean that will be that's our one of the kind of biggest bet. We want to be in the really partnership with these with the device makers, with the app developers, be able to kind of prove some of the some of the uh, uh, how do I say it right? Some of these technologies that I spoke about, and some of these enabling kind of blocks of that I spoke about earlier. We need to kind of prove that with the device makers and the app developers, for especially for kind of the secure commissioning and kind of being able to prove the point of multi, I would say, admin functionalities in Matter. But like we also, I guess, breathe, I would say, the collaboration with device manufacturer. It's really a journey, and we're here to kind of be to accompany them and their needs for connectivity, for the compute, for sensing, for security, all these kind of building blocks of the solution.
The next question from Clément Lemoine. Very interesting. You have a lot of very interesting, by the way. It's not the only one.
Thank you.
Should smart lighting products be Matter compliant in the future? Can you explain a little bit more the reason of the CAGR 40%? Why you see such high growth?
Yes, so to the point, actually, smart lights are part of the first wave I would say, um, are part of the first wave of Matter. So Matter 1.0 has identified, I think, like four, I think, types of devices: the smart locks, the smart slides, um, TVs is part of it as well. So yes, it's part of the this. There is like a whole kind of tiger team about kind of light and occupancy that's kind of led by one of the kind of one of the think like the number one kind of connected lights in the world. Then that's the one I'm talking about. And then the CAGR of 40%, actually, as I was saying. So if you look at the kind of uh, the big names that I kind of mentioned, and around kind of Matter, all kind of that Google ecosystem, that Amazon ecosystem, and that Apple, that Smart Things, Samsung ecosystem, that these are the names of the kind of the biggest kind of ecosystems that are pushing for Matter, and they want to see Matter happen. And that's why we see this kind of type of kind of CAGR of like 40% and like 50%, I think, on the lighting, and 90% on the 90+% on the smart lock. So because we see really kind of a push by the kind of the giants of the smart home, and you look at some of the news that were in the press maybe like over 6 or 8 months ago now, which is, for example, Amazon kind of committing to support Matter on any smart home speaker that they have after, I think, the Echo 3. So that's going to kind of open up the door overnight to include more and more devices under the Matter, I would say, ecosystem and the Matter protocol.
The last question, and because we need to move to our, but I
Of
have
course, of
also to
course.
ask from Thomas Gauthier, do you have combo chip solution for Wi-Fi? 802.15.4 Zigbee thread.
So that's a good question. I mean, I would love to understand kind of the use case behind that.
You can.
Yes,
He
and we'll
is
keep
one
that.
of our speakers. You can.
Exactly,
Yeah, we
exactly. No,
don't
that's
have.
what I
Yeah,
was. Let's table that one. I would say for the discussion later on, but definitely
exactly.
I would love to hear kind of the drivers of such a
Yeah.
application.
Thank you. And
Thank
you
you.
can. He's part of the speakers. You can discuss together in the